was her words. I said, okay. All right. Slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Okay, I'm going to show you the easiest way that I know how to graph no matter what they give you. Okay, the easiest one, because you guys hate literal equations. You hate solving equations for y when it's not already solved for y. So I've got some tips and tricks on how to do that without changing it to y equals. But if it's already in y equals, we use it. So your y-intercept is the point. Okay, it's the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. Your slope is a fraction that tells you how far up and right to move along your line. Okay? It says up and right. What do you think happens if it's negative? It goes down and to the right. So negative means you go in the opposite direction. Which means I'm going down and to the right. What happens if I have a whole number as a slope, or my slope is 3, or my slope is -7, but I need a fraction? What do I do? No, it's already simplified. Put it over 1. Why? What does putting something over 1? If I take 7 and divide it by 1, what's my answer? 7. If I take -14 and divide it by 1, my answer is -14. So dividing by 1 creates a fraction without changing the value. So I'd put some kind of note down here. If slope is a whole number, create a fraction by placing over 1. And then I'd give yourself an example. So an example, if my slope is 2, that is 2 over 1. Okay. Sometimes it's the easiest, simplest little thing that you forget. So it's always nice to have some kind of a reference. Good, because we're going to graph. If I had you for math 3, you'd make pictures using graphs with all different types of equations. And you wouldn't be in math 1. Hey, Miss Smith will be teaching AP statistics. Okay, so your steps to graphing an equation in slope-intercept form. We need to place a point on the y-axis at the y-intercept. Okay, remember yesterday, Sabi said that this is my starting point. Okay, when we looked at the equation yesterday, Sabi said B is your y-intercept and B is your starting point. Wait, do that. It's not going to take us long to get through that. I just don't want you to miss any of this. Okay. Make their slope into a fraction. If it isn't, oh, I guess this is on there. making the denominator 1. Look, now you got a double reminder. Okay.
Still leaving it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm still pulling material left and right, trying to like get my life together. It's not working. Move from the y-intercept. So you start where you put that first point, and then use your slope to make your second point. So you need to decide: do I go up and to the right? Do I go down and to the right? And connect your points with a ruler and add your arrows. Okay, simple as that. 2 points to graph. That's all you need. Okay. So let's open it up. And we've got 6 examples. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
He stopped. Where might it go?
We were just talking about you.
30 minutes.
She said, where might I go? Okay. So from the equation, we need to identify our slope and our y-intercept. What's my slope? Maya, what's my slope in this equation? Come on. You got this. Oh, thank you.
I didn't even look at you.
Y equals 1/2 x plus 3. What's my slope? 1/2. Okay.
1/2 x.
No, just 1/2.
1/2 x. So would you go up and then over 2 or 2 over 1?
Okay. Remember, your slope is rise over run. So +1 tells me to move which way? Rise over run.
We're gonna go up and down first.
Okay, so up, and +2 makes me go to the right. Okay, remember, this is change in y over change in x. Think about it. Your y-axis goes up and down. Okay, so your top number is going to make your graph go up and down. That bottom number is your change in x, and your x-axis goes left and right, so that's going to move you left and right. Jennifer, what's my starting point here? Where's my y-intercept? Where should I start my graph? Jennifer? Huh? Where's your y-intercept? Remember, it's your plus b. 3. Okay. Okay. So now that we have this information, we use this to graph. So my y-intercept is 3. That means I put a point at 3 on my y-axis. So 1, 2, 3.
You went to the bathroom to eat chips.
Okay. Enough. Do you want a quiz now? Because I can drop one in 2 seconds.
You got one today?
Oh, I can drop one in 2 seconds. Stop talking and pay attention.
I'm asking like when is it happening? Tomorrow?
Friday.
Tomorrow? It's Friday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh.
Okay, so this tells me we start at 3. 1/2 in, you told me, says we go up 1 to the right by 2. So from that point, you need to count up 1 and to the right 2. And connect your points. Okay. It's very important that you put the arrows on the ends of your lines. Why?
Because if you going.
Your line's gonna keep going. This is not a segment. This is not a ray. It's gonna keep going in both directions. Okay, so here's a question. If it's gonna keep going to the left and it's gonna keep going to the right, what's my domain? Negative infinity to positive infinity. My line's gonna keep going down and keep going up. So what is my range? It's gonna keep going down, it's gonna keep going up and never stop.
Just infinity.
Negative infinity to positive infinity. So your linear equation always has the same domain and the same range every time. Negative to positive. Unless we have a special line of a horizontal or a vertical. Okay, so any sloped line is going to have a domain of negative to positive and a range of negative to positive. All right? Ooh. Uh-oh.
What did you just put over one?
Oh, the slope is gonna be four over one.
Okay.
Look back at your equation. You had y equals mx plus b.
Okay.
So the 4 is the B.
Okay.
It's the
So
one
4.
It's B.
It's both.
No, it's
Nine.
the Y. It's the Y.
Because you put 4 on
The
the
Y.
If you graph that, how would you graph that?
4.4
At
1 0.
Where do I put the 4 at? On my X or on my Y?
Y.
X.
That's Y.
What does it say? It 4 equals.
X equals
Y.
4. So
It's
it's
Y.
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 X
This XY.
equals.
Y. 4.
The M is
Vertical.
What's under
So
the
it's
line?
Y.
Oh.
This is a special line. Anytime you only have either the X or the Y, this is a special line. So you really don't have a slope here. Your slope here is 0. Actually, no, I lied. This one's your undefined, my bad.
Oh.
I know. I just thought about it. Remember, your slope is rise over 1, and we're going to talk about this for a second, okay? If this is a vertical line at 4 on my X, am I ever going to touch my Y?
No.
No. So do I have a Y-intercept? No. There is none. So when I go to graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, here's my line. Oops. My ruler's broke, and it just made me go crooked. Okay. Okay. So here's my line. So remember, your slope is rise over run. Well, my line goes up and up and up and up, but does it go left and right at all? No. Which makes your bottom value 0, which is what makes your slope undefined.
So your Y.
Okay, you don't have a y-intercept. It doesn't cross the y.
Oh,
You have an x-intercept. You do not have a y-intercept. Okay, y equals -3.
It's the same.
It's undefined.
No, this is, isn't this 0?
This time your slope is 0.
How?
We're gonna talk about it.
It's a Y, right?
Okay, again, I only have the y variable. I don't have an x. So that should automatically tell you this is a special line. Y equals, what'd you say, Xavier? Horizontal. So anytime you have y equals a number, this is a horizontal line. Okay, so at -3, I have a horizontal line. So my graph's gonna look like 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's a negative. It's very, very light.
Oh, he making me mess up.
Why are you graphing stuff before I did?
Cause I want to be
Okay. So your slope is 0 because I don't go up and down at all, which makes the top part of my slope 0, but I can go left and right as much as I want. So my fraction is 0 over some number, which makes my slope 0. What's my y-intercept? -3. It crosses your y at -3. So a horizontal has a slope of 0 and a y-intercept at whatever value it is. And a vertical line has an undefined slope and a y-intercept is none. Okay, down here, this is -x. I don't know why it came out so light. So, what is my slope in this equation?
negative.
What value is in front of x? 1. So my slope is -1. To make that into a fraction, what do I have to put in the bottom? 1. Okay, so how am I moving according to my slope? Down and to the right. Okay, that negative in the top changes my direction from up to down, and the positive in the bottom still makes it go to the right. What's my y-intercept? Where do I start? +7. So we count to 7 on my y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my starting point. Okay, so down 1 into the right 1. If you really want to, you can keep going from that point. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Okay. And we connect the dots.
What? I can tell you, Miss Smith, that worse. See, look, just what I be talking about. You so
Take a look at the next equation. Y equals 2x. Is this a special line? No. You still have a y and an x. Okay? So my slope here is what, Jorge? 2 over 1. Good. 2 over 1, which tells me I'm moving how?
Up, then right.
Okay, up and to the right. We need to get out of the habit of saying over 1. Over doesn't tell me left or right. Okay, so please start getting out of that habit. I have to stop myself sometimes because I do it. Up 1 over 1, okay? Y-intercept. It's not 9. It's 0. Okay? Look. There is nothing added or subtracted to the 2x. So technically I could write plus 0 here, which means we start at 0.
What's the difference
Oh,
between
I
that?
get it.
Okay, 9 means it does not touch the y at all. Okay, so if you look at the one above it, that line never ever touched the y-intercept.
Okay.
So that one is none because it doesn't cross this line at all. Okay, this one's actually going to cross. Okay, so we started 0 on our y, which means I start at the origin. And from that point, I go up 2 and to the right 1.
Miss, can you, is that, a -7 on the next one?
Okay. Yes, that's 4x minus 7 on the next one. That's 4x minus 7 on the next one. Take a minute and do that one on your own. Take a minute and do that one on your own. And then I'll put the answer up.
Hold up. Maybe not equal. I think I got it right.
This is the y. So it's -7 on your y, not on your x. Okay. Other than that, it looks good.
I'm tired of it. Hush your mouth. Shut your butt.
Be careful, that is a 4x minus 7. Okay? Even though it's very light, it's a minus 7. So what's your slope? Turn it into a fraction. Core over 1, because you don't want to change the value of it. Okay, so it's positive 4, so you're in which direction? Rise over 1. Your y's on top.
Oh.
So you're going up, and then your positive 1's taking you to the. Now hold on, you need your y-intercept first. Where do I start? Where's my starting point in that equation? Not just 7, or it's minus 7. Negative 7. So start at negative 7 on your y, y-intercept. Okay, then count your 4 down. Okay, so where's your starting point? Okay, minus 7, negative 7. So we start at negative 7 on our y, and then use your slope to get your next one. Good.
Just let me know.
Can I scratch your back?
Just go.
Make your butt in your seat.
Looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good.
Oh.
Why don't you use the roller, silly?
Is it good?
I mean, yeah.
Look at the line.
Right, yeah.
Wait, so that's
Okay, your line should look like this. You had a slope at positive 4/1, a y-intercept at -7. The biggest problem I'm seeing, okay, right now, the biggest problem we're doing is that starting point. Some of you are trying to start on the x instead of the y. That is a y-intercept, which means your point needs to be on the y-axis. So please, please, please be careful of that. Okay, questions? This glues in on page 38. Just folds in half like a booklet. It's gonna go in sideways. Crazy pants.
Yo, she's still eating it, so.
No, I did not.
Listen, some people just stay eating. That's what we do. It happens.
Look. He said I stayed, but he walked. He said, I got him my food. I got him. That's what the fuck he was. He want everything. No.
Oh.
But I need the front. I need the front. No, I'm good.
I know, I'm annoying, aren't I? But you love me anyway. On God you do.
So,
Get that page right, it's gonna be where you're ready to do the work for this. And that page you just did gonna move on.
I forgot page. No, 30
Don't take my notebook.
I don't think I'm down.
You don't got the scratch in that. You don't got the
Yes, I have to have that ready.
Ryan, no way.
Hey, so what? She's doing her work, leave her alone. Why's your hood on your head? Right. Okay. Okay, now we are going to deal with equations that are in what we call standard form of a linear equation. Okay, what do you notice about standard form that we didn't have with slope-intercept form? Enough. Take a look. This is ax plus by equals c. This is called standard form of a linear equation. What is different between this and slope-intercept form that we just did?
So B, A, B, C.
Okay. The other equation was set equal to what? The equation we just did was set equal to what?
Slope.
Wait, what'd you say?
I can wait. I'm gonna wait until everybody's done having their individual conversations so everybody can hear what I said. Because I'm so tired of repeating myself because y'all want to talk about everything and anything that has nothing to do with what we're doing. The last equations we tried to graph, it was set equal to what? What was my equation equal to? Y. Slope-intercept form is y equals. Standard form is no longer y equals. You can't easily pick out a starting point. You can't easily pick out a slope. You would have to solve this equation so it's y equals in order to do what we just did. Okay. But to make it a little bit easier, we can find 2 points without doing that. These 2 points are called your x-intercept, which is where the graph crosses the x-axis. When the graph crosses the x-axis, what is my y value? 0. So my x-intercept is always some number, comma 0. Okay. So we can find your x-intercept. We can also find your y-intercept, where it crosses your y-axis. But when it crosses your y, what is your x value? If I'm on my y-axis, what is my x value? 0. So this is going to be 0, comma, some number. So your zeros flip-flopped. Okay. So your x-axis, your y is equal to 0. Your y-axis, your x is equal to 0. Okay. So to graph in this form, we need to find these 2 points. Okay. We need to find these 2 points. Stop pulling on my roller, on my desk, whatever you're doing, man. We find the x-intercept by setting y equal to 0. So we're going to plug in a 0 for your y and solve for your x. And then we're going to solve for your y by setting x equal to 0. We're going to plot each point and connect them with a ruler. Okay. Let's open it up.
Boom. Boom.
Okay, so we already said your x-intercept has to be some number, comma, 0. Okay, so we need to take 0 and we need to plug it in for our y value. So it's going to look like 3x plus 4. Instead of having y now, I'm plugging in 0. Okay. So all you're doing is replacing your variable of y with the value that I tell you. Well, in this case, it's going to be a 0. Mm-hmm. You got it, girl. Okay. So what happens when I plug in 0 for y? It's 0. So on the left-hand side, I'm just left with 3x. And on the right-hand side, I have 12. What does x equal then? How do I get x by itself? Divide by 3. So x equals 4. So I have an x-intercept at 4, comma 0. Okay. Sabi said when I'm trying to find my y-intercept then, I switch it. My 0 now becomes my x. So 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. So now I'm replacing my x with a value of 0. Huh? Yeah, you just, no, you're fine. You just flip-flop those. That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so 3 times 0 cancels out and becomes 0. So I'm left with 4y equals 12. Divide by 4 and y equals 3. So 0, 3. Okay. Now you have 2 points that are on your line. We can now plot those and graph them. So,
Wait,
Liz, what's your name? She got- Oh, somebody asked.
why do we both gotta go like right now in the middle of my name?
I can hold on. I'm gonna wait for her to get
Okay, quickly. When he gets back, you can go.
okay.
All right, so now remember 4, 0. That's 4 on my x, 0 on my y. So 4, 0 is here. Okay. Remember, it's always x, y. So I either move left and right and then up and down. Okay. 0, 3. That means I'm moving nowhere left and right. What direction am I moving for 3? Up. So that goes here. Connect your 2 points.
It's on your book.
There's your line.
Probably don't have the arrow. When you don't-
If they restrict your domain, we're not going to look at that. Yeah, don't even think about that right now. Let's focus on this. We're struggling enough with slope. Let's not talk about restricting domains. Okay, one more with me, and then I'm going to expect you to do the last 2 on your own. Okay. Oh, you got this.
Can we do the fraction one together?
You want to do the fraction one together. All right, so down here. All right, we can do that. I will take that. Y'all saved yourselves. You paid attention. Look at that. Okay, so x-intercept. I need to plug in 0 for y. So -3/2 x plus 0 equals 15. Okay, so that leaves me with -3/2 x equals 15. Okay. Y'all pick this one because you hate fractions. Okay, I need to get rid of that 2. What's happening with that 2?
Multiply it.
I need to multiply because it's being divided. So I multiply both sides by 2.
Cancel out.
Okay, so Amora says that cancels out and leaves me with -3x. And when I multiply 15 by 2,
30.
30. Yes, when you're finished. We're not done yet. You're a step ahead of me.
Don't you divide?
Okay, Amora says we now divide by what, Amora? -3, which gives me x equals -10.
Boy, shut up.
See? Listen, it's more the fact that y'all think you suck, so that's how you look at it every time. You're smarter than you think. Stop degrading yourselves. You can do this. Okay? So, y-intercept, I'm plugging in 0 for x. So -3/2 times 0 plus y equals 15.
That's the end.
All right.
But it say why.
your y-intercept.
Right.
So you want to know where it's crossing the y, which means your x value is 0. Anytime you're on the y-axis, your x value is always 0.
I know, like, okay. Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, equal 15.
So y equals 15. That one was pretty easy. That's it. Okay.
Like,
Wait, what?
Remember, -3 times 0, anything times 0 is 0.
I thought you had to answer it out. Like, now, you would have got the same thing. But why didn't you do it?
What do you mean insert out?
Like,
Talking about like step by step. Like I did with the first part.
right.
Fraction, but the fraction isn't there.
But when you multiply this by 0, anything times 0 becomes 0. So it just kind of disappears. So you really don't have to deal with the fraction when you're plugging in 0 for the x.
I would do that. I probably put the number.
X.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Uh-oh, we got a problem.
No, I don't know if it's.
Okay. We've got a problem. We can plot our x-intercept, but we cannot plot our y.
So we don't got no 15.
There's no 15. My graph only goes up to 10.
Well, make a 15. So I'm making
Okay.
50.
So you can make a 15. Okay? Count 5 spaces above it. Okay, that's okay.
That's too much.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll just do it like here. That'll be all right.
Boy, when I said my stomach
Hurts.
hurts.
Okay. Take a couple minutes, do the last 2, and I will put them up for you to check. When you are done, raise your hand. I will come around and check yours and give you your assignment to work on.
Don't do that. Right? Don't do that. You can stop saying Can we use the calculator?
No,
Yes.
no,
Please.
no.
Why not? Why not?
Again, you have a non-calculator section of your test.
Okay.
Okay? I need to gear more towards that than I need to the calculator section.
You shut up. Shut up and read what. You shut up.
3/2. 1.5. So, yep.
Done.
You making me mad.
Oh, no. Oh, I'll put 1.5.
Yeah, why'd you go in the negative direction? It's not a negative 1.5, it's a positive.
Oh, girl.
So you just need to fix that.
1.5.
Yeah, your 1.5 should go in the positive direction. Include that in on the next page, Commissioner.
Oh, my God.
Be careful here. So you plug in 0 for x, you get negative y equals 3. Two opposite negative sign. So that's gonna be a negative, which will put your point down there. Then connect them. Okay, so you're good. So x equals 3/2. What does that look like as a decimal?
Shut up.
Wait, so we do that whole, we do that 0 thing for all this?
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure now. Yes.
What's 3/2 is a decimal?
Okay,
It's
I'm done.
1/2, 1/2, and 1/2.
What do you for?
Got 1.5.
So 1 whole and a half. So that's 1.5. Ooh. You just go over 1.5.
I'll do that.
And 1. That's all. So then it should just go somewhere in between 1 and 2.
They say people are there.
What, interstate?
They
What
say
if I call that?
people are terrorists. They got the stars.
Grab sheet, post, and the graph. But how do you do that?
What? Why are you looking at me?
Mind your business.
You're looking at me.
You always do my business. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
24 divided by -8.
What? Just now.
Negative.
It's an AB.
Negatives are gonna be the death of you.
I don't know. I thought about this. I'm not an answer.
Okay? This is how you move in your X direction, this is how you move your Y.
I know you're like.
What you eating now? Your 2 for teeth?
Oh, my goodness.
-3 in the X direction, 0 in the Y. Negative. So we're in your X.
I sure am.
From the origin, from the origin.
Daddy talk. Daddy talk.
That looks good, that looks good.
Period, I know, right?
Period.
Ah.
Oh.
This is right.
Can you take this out?
Give me a
Oh, I need the front of the thingy. It was recording me, so it's gonna hear me on